to Tortall Sisters, a book club podcast about the books written by Tamora Pierce.
Oh my god.
I'm Risa.
I'm Ariana, and I'm talking through your intro, and I'm sorry, sister.
And that's the intro.
That's the intro. That's it.
So, what book did we read? Oh, actually, before we get going, I want to say that apparently Tammy has a Patreon.
She do.
So, it seems like a couple years ago she had a bunch of health issues. And so she's not able to write fast enough right now to make enough money to, subsist. Because her health problems are stopping her from writing very quickly. So she has a Patreon right now to cover the cost of living, as well as she just takes care of, all of the feral cats in her area.
She has a feral cat colony, and I have to say, life goals.
I know, honestly. So they, it costs them money and stuff to do trap and release. To trap, neuter, release is what they do. And so they do that, they feed them and stuff like that, they make sure they take them to the vet and stuff, so she wants to be able to do all that still. So if you want to become a patron of her, you just find her under Tamora Pierce. It's also linked on her website, and apparently if you're a patron, which I'm very close to just doing, for $5 and up, you get writing, updates.
Nice.
Of what she's doing. And I'm I wouldn't be opposed to knowing these things. I'm still waiting for the next Numair Chronicles book to come out. So
I'll be real. I am currently waiting on the next Circle of Magic book.
I know, we're supposed to learn more about Triss.
I want my fucking Triss book, and I want it now, Tammy.
Triss goes to university. That's literally just
Triss goes
the Triss
to university.
Which, love it. Okay, but what book are we talking about tonight, sister?
Tonight, we are talking about Wolfspeaker, the second in the Immortals quartet.
Yeah, so Wolfspeaker. All in all, I really enjoyed it.
Honestly, such a good book.
It really is. I wouldn't say it's still obviously one of her, beginning books, but I feel like in this one, she really found her voice, and I really enjoy the way that the story flows. It's very dense.
It is.
And when I say dense, I mean, it's just that it's jam-packed.
For real.
Never a dull moment, never a sitting...
Well, and even when it is, there are parts when, Dane is just sitting there, because she doesn't... But at the same time, she's sitting there, and she's, practicing her magic. Let's get into the fucking synopsis, I guess.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a breakdown writing it.
It's okay, sister. It's okay.
It's just trying to make a synopsis that isn't as long as the book.
It's difficult.
I think we did a good job. It's only 7 pages long this time.
Booyah.
So,
what was the last one? I'm pretty sure the last one was shorter.
It was 8. No, it was 8
Oh, really?
pages. Yeah.
To be fair, we used different formatting this time.
Yeah, we did. It's definitely shorter.
We used notes instead of book report form.
Yeah, this time I was I'm writing an outline.
Yeah. Because
that's the only way I can make sure I'm not just going okay, what happened in this section? Okay, what happened? And then just writing down everything.
You want the Tamora Pierce books without any of the flowery descriptions or conversations? Tune in to
Come on down
Sisters.
to Tortall Sisters. We got you really bad synopses. We got...
We got you. You sassy synopses. We got you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this.
Okay.
We just alternating bullet points.
The bullet points get really long.
They do. They are. My husband was that's not a bullet point anymore if it's a whole paragraph. And I was fuck off.
It's next to a bullet point. It is.
We begin the book as Brokefang, the leader of the Long Lake Wolf Pack, calling Dane and Numair to come and help their pack. This is the pack that helped Dane avenge her family's deaths in Snowsdale after the hunters came after her. The pack she went mad with Brokefang had sent 2 wolves in his pack to go find Dane and her companions and bring them back to the Long Lake, as the wolves call it, to talk to the humans on their behalf.
Dane, along with Kitten, aka Skysong, her small dragon charge, who... just a great addition to this book. Like, just... mwah. And Numair, less important. I mean, really, though, he is.
And Cloud is also there, her pony.
Oh, yes.
Very important.
Cloud, as well as Mangle and...
Spot?
Yes, Spot. Thank you. Mangle and Spot. Come to visit the Long Lake under orders to check into the disappearances of a group of the Queen's riders, as well as 20 Tortallian soldiers while they're
Tortallian?
there. What?
You said Tortallian.
I did. Because my brain saw 2 L's, and instead of it turned one of them into an I. They meet up with the majority of the pack, the ones who come to show her to the current dwellings, and she hears the story of why Brokefang has called her to come help.
Brokefang tells her that the humans who live in the valley are cutting down the forest, digging holes, and scaring all the game away. When asked why they don't just find another home, Brokefang says that he has already been driven from his home once in Snowsdale. He won't let the humans ruin this place as well. Numair notes how unwolf-like Brokefang has become, and Dane realizes it must be from when Brokefang licked her wounds when she was injured by the bandits who killed her family. And there's a touching little, vignette back into when that happened.
Oh my god, it's so,
yeah, heartbreaking.
Murder me. While the wolves are out hunting, Numair and Dane are visited by her old friend, the Badger. I feel like friend really needs to be in quotes there, sister.
Yeah.
The Badger says many things, but the 2 most important things are that 1, he is the first Badger, which makes him a lesser god, and 2, Dane needs to continue growing her powers. He tells her to try and join minds with an animal, and she might be surprised what she can do. After he leaves, she once again kicks herself for not asking the identity of her father. You idiot. Dane tries to join with Cloud, her pony, like the Badgers had said, but she found that their brains were too different for her to join with Cloud, for the moment at least. Cloud suggests that she try with another hunter, like a wolf.
The next morning, Dane's entire company of Numair and various animals start their journey again to the entire Long Lake pack. As they travel, they see storm wings overhead, and Brokefang tells her that the humans brought them and other mages to the valley. Numair comments that it sounds a lot like something Emperor Ozorn of Carthak would do. Ozorn is the one suspected of bringing the Immortals from the Divine Realms and into the Mortal Realm. After the Stormwings leave, Dane and Numair find the blackened remains of the missing Queen's riders. Also, very early on, we are given this message from everyone being like, Dane, don't just immediately hate people based on what they are. Because she's like, I'm going to kill these Stormwings. And Numair's like, they do anything to us.
They haven't done shit, kid. They haven't done shit.
And she's like, yeah, but we got to kill him. It's like, calm down.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's end of the first chapter. Chapter 2!
It was. It was like, these blackened remains of the missing Queen's riders.
Bum, bum, bum! On their way back to the pack's home, they spot an island in the lake, and Numair declares that it is Fife Dunlath of Tortall. Brokefang tells them that there are forts with soldiers at both the north and south ends of the valley. That's gonna be important, you guys.
It is.
Meaning that Fife Dunlath is far more heavily guarded than a fief their size has any right to be. Continuing on their way, Dane notices that the pack are all marking piles of meat on the trail with urine. The pack explain that the fief has a wolf hunter who leaves poisoned meat and traps about, and they're showing him what they think of them. It worries Dane that the wolves she loves are acting very unwolf-like.
They arrive at the cave. I just want everyone to understand that I did write most of this synopsis while quite drunk on tequila. So, there's a lot of verb misconjugation because English is very hard when I'm drunk. And it's very upsetting that I don't live with anyone who speaks Spanish because that would make things a whole lot easier.
They're there.
They arrive at the caves where the pack has been living and meet Frostfur, Brokefang's mate, and all the year's pups.
Oh, the pups!
The puppies! Kitten is sad to find that the pups are afraid of her, but Russet, one of the adult wolves, quickly helps her feel better by playing with her. It's so cute. So, like, Kitten gets really sad because the pups are afraid of her, and Russet's like, why is she upset? They are only pups. They don't know any better. And Dane's like, well, I mean, Kitten's just a pup herself, really. Aww. And then Russet, like, feels bad and goes to... I'm like,
because
that's so touching.
Kitten's sitting there playing with rocks, and so a big old wolf comes over and starts nudging the rocks too, and it's like, oh no!
It's so good.
My heart!
When the pack returns from the hunt, Brokefang offers for Dane to practice her joining with him. It's the joining situation, the words just happen, and you guys need to understand what it means.
Yeah.
It takes her a moment, but she's able to join her mind with Brokefang's and is able to see through his eyes and his senses. At the shock of seeing her own body from the outside, she returns to her body very tired from their practice.
Yeah, well. The next day, Numair tries to scry, but discovers that the entire valley is covered by an occult net. Dunlath is already obscured by being so close to the magic that spills out of the city of the gods, so the added net makes it like a secret within a secret. Numair says this net will warn if any magic is used, but scrying is passive, so he's okay, and wild magic won't set it off. They then go, that's very convenient for them, they then go with Brokefang, Fleetfoot, and Shortsnout to see the northern edge of the lake. They find a mining operation. Oh my god, I cannot read today, I'm sorry. Mining operation being manned mostly by scraggly-looking ogres, who Dane thinks are slaves. Numair says that Dunlath used to have opal mines, but they had dried up years ago. God damn. Brokefang tells him about an earthquake last year that could have shown the humans more.
After returning to camp and having supper, Dane asks Russet if she can practice joining with him, and he readily agrees. After she returns to herself, the rest of the pack returns from the hunt. And also, that's the time when no, it's not that time. It's with, never mind. It's the next time.
No, yeah.
They say they ate a farmer's sheep, which alarms Dane, knowing eating a farmer's animal is something that could drive farmers to killing the wolves. They assured her that they hid the remains the remains of the sheep in a pit, so the farmers would never know. Another very unwolf-like behavior, which alarms Dane further.
Honestly, that wouldn't alarm me. That makes me think, oh, good. They're capable of saving themselves. This is good. Why does she not see it that way? Like, I agree. It feels like a weird perversion of nature, and I get that. Like,
I think she feels like she is, like, taking away their wolfness just by being around them and causing them to feel
dumb.
More. They're acting more human-like.
They still have their
wolfness. No, definitely. That's the thing.
They're just
that's
enhanced.
Yeah, that's one of the things in this book that she does examine. Like, you're not imposing your will on them, so you don't have to be, like, you don't have to feel guilty for changing them.
Yeah.
Like, humans also are changed by being around you and as you all grow together, and you're going to affect your friends' personalities as well. Like,
yeah, how it goes. The next morning, Numair and Dane go into the village of Fife Dunlath and inquire at the inn for 2 rooms. They then find out that Kitten can unlock locks, as evidenced by her unlocking one between their 2 rooms. The mage then tells Dane that they are going up to the castle for dinner. And yes, she has to wear a dress. At the castle, they meet Tate, the hunter after the wolves, and his very serious hunting dogs, who all immediately act like puppies upon seeing Dane. You're good dogs, aren't you? Yes, you are. The man is telling the rulers of the Fife, Lady Elaine and her husband, Belden, and her younger sister, Lady Mara, that...
I always said it Mora.
Mora?
Like Laura.
Yeah, okay, Mora works. Mora, that the wolves are mocking him. After everyone is introduced, another mage enters the room, one who recognizes Numair as Aram Draper from the University of Carthag.
Dun dun dun! The mage ends up being Tristan Staghorn, who's an asshole in the Numair Chronicles as well. Who studied at the University of Carthag with Numair, which you can read about in Tempest and Slaughter.
Wow!
Actually, after rereading this, after having read that, I'm like,
It makes me
I know,
for
I have more feelings.
I have more feelings.
I have more feelings.
Yeah.
I think that reading Emperor Mage is going to really...
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that'll be wild. Okay. Who studied at the University of Carthage with Numair. Introductions are done. Yolanda knows that Dane's last name, Sarastri, means that she is a bastard.
Her name is Yolaine.
I know. What did I say? Yolanda?
Yolanda. I mean, that's a real name, so, like... Yolanda.
You're just lucky I didn't type it in, Yelena. Oof. Sorry. Yolaine is a bitch. All we have to know. Yolaine is Crody. Like, she is... Yeah. And she hates cats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat this out, but she's a...
That's all you need to know, that she's
not
a good person.
She's not. And she hates cats, as I said. Dinner is served. Dane is sat with the 10-year-old Lady Mara, who assures her that no one will pay them any attention. She's just like, they don't care.
Don't worry about it.
They piss off the servants enough that's why all of the food is cold.
But they keep it warm for me.
Yeah, so
it's just harder with the soup. You're at my table, so you should get treated better. But
you won't have your food spit in. After dinner, Dane, much to Numair's displeasure, addresses the Lord and Lady about what the wolves have asked her to do. They poke fun at her and tell her that no, they won't stop ruining the valley because it's theirs and they can do what they want with it. And that's too real.
Yeah, I was like, why is it... I feel like the first time I read this, that seemed stupid, because it was like, what? Why would grown-ups do this?
Yeah, but now it doesn't. Adults and seeing the world,
it's just as stupid. It's just depressing now.
Yeah, it's like, wow, it's idiotic, and yet, something that would happen.
Here we are.
Here we are. It's like Krypton. Okay.
Let's just send one baby.
They poke fun at her. They say no, they won't. Dane and Numair leave, though Dane doesn't regret addressing them because she never could have faced Brokefang again if she hadn't.
And Numair says that he wishes he could have been more brave like her, which I liked.
Yeah.
After they get back, they go to sleep. But around midnight, Numair comes to wake Dane up to tell her that they need to leave immediately. He tells her that Tristan put Nightbloom in his drink. He assures her he didn't drink it, and that they need to get out immediately and go send word to King Jonathan about what's going down in Dunlath. Down in Dunlath.
Yeah, what's going down in Dunlath.
Numair. I almost read that as hurries something, and then I thought you buries something.
Buries.
Numair buries some things for insurance, which he then has to use when he feels that they know he's missing.
Yeah. As they're searching the occult net for him, he sets up, so the mages in general.
Yeah.
With Tristan. Oh, I didn't write, there are 4 other mages as well, who are just there. 2 of whom Numair also knows from Carthage, and then another couple that just are, like, there saying that they're merchants. And, like, not in not a very believable way. They're just like, yeah, we're merchants.
They're like the mobsters who show up and they're like, yeah, we're in the sanitation business.
Exactly.
Where were we?
So Numair sets off 2
simulacra.
Simulacra, thank you. Of himself going in different directions. So basically he makes, uses the essence of himself to throw Tristan off where he's going. And doing it in a sloppy way, because basically he's like, Tristan does not expect me to be able to do anything. He thinks I am a shit-for-brains academic who only knows, nonsense spells, and, I don't want to ruin that image.
Which, getting a lot of thom here.
Yeah.
But, in a smart way. Instead of a spiteful way.
Yeah, so it's like, so he sends those out. But then Dane realizes that she has to stay and help the pack, and he has to go without her. Numair reluctantly does leave her and Kitten with the pack as he goes to tell the king of what they've seen.
Bum bum. When the pack returns to their den, Dane tells them about what the two-leggers and Dunlath said. The pack tell her it doesn't matter. They are taking things into their own hands. Pause. They then show her that they stole all of the axes and saws from the logging camp, which is super impressive.
How did the wolves carry two-man saws?
Like, I'm just imagining them. Okay, come on, we got it. Like, just, yeah. What are they doing?
Just being great.
Claiming they can no longer chop trees down if they have no tools. Dane is once again shocked and upset by her friend's human-like behavior.
After Dane awakes, Frostfur demands that Dane call game to them and sulks when Dane tells her no. After everyone is fed, though, Dane practices joining, this time, with the female wolf battle. After that, when she comes back to her body, things get real bare bones from here. Otherwise, I was going to spend way too long. But when she gets back into her body after joining with battle, she, like, itches her nose and for a second thinks it feels furry. But then she touches it again and it's fine.
And she's like, it's the madness! It's creeping back in!
I'm just crazy. It's like, girl, come on. After that, she sleeps until the afternoon, when she then practices joining with Brokefang, noting how it gets easier every time. When she does join with Brokefang, this time she realizes just how human-like his brain has become. It upsets her, and she blames herself, which Cloud tells her off for.
Because that's what Cloud is there for. The next day, Dane finds an injured squirrel after the pups run out and play in the meadow. She heals the squirrel, then she is cornered by a beast called a Coldfang, with the body of a large lizard and the tail of a rattlesnake.
I imagine it as, like, a fucking, what are they, monitor lizards?
Yeah, I kind of imagine a giant monitor, like
yes, and then with the rattlesnake tail.
Like, I'm feeling, like, alligator size,
yeah.
Like, monitor lizard, but
yeah.
Also fucking, they bring a bunch of, like, cold with them, and I guess that they're beaded in green.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that means, but, like...
It basically, I'm thinking, like, like, you know, like
how... more raised,
Yeah, like, chameleons have, like, the more bumpy bits to them. I was thinking that as, like, their skin texture.
Right. Coldfang with the body of a large lizard and tail of a rattlesnake. There we go. The pups and kitten try to fight the monster, but it turns to stone. The work of a basilisk named Taka!
I definitely say Taka.
Taka.
Like, with that, like, lengthened A. I don't know why.
Because that's obviously what it's supposed to be. Taka. Taka explains that Coldfangs go after thieves, and Dane realizes it's because of the tools the wolves stole. Taka joins them on their way back to warn the pack, which, good. I'm so glad.
Taka is, like, my entire heart.
Yes.
I love this character so much. He is just... I imagine him... So he's a basilisk, sorry, which is also described as being like a lizard on his hind legs, though. So, but my brain kind of makes him look like the Geico gecko.
I can see that.
Or sometimes I can see him more as, like, you know, that the High Council lady in Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah. I can get that too.
Kind of more like her.
like a more rounded body, but I can see that, absolutely.
Like her merged with the Geico gecko, and there you have what I think Taka looks like. And he turns things into stone and then eats the stone.
Yes. But he's got to let the Coldfang sit there for like a decade at least before it's good.
After Taka explains who and what he is, and that he snuck through to the mortal realm when Tristan was bringing other immortals, he's just like, yeah, I snuck through. I wanted to go on a vacation.
It's like, I was so fucking tired of that place.
I was bored.
Like, do you know how many awesome rocks there are to eat here?
They all decide to move the pack to another den away from the dead Coldfang. Taka turns all the stolen tools to stone before they leave, so that even if the men find them, they won't be able to use them.
Which...
Just, like, fucking awesome.
Yeah, like, did we know he could do that?
No.
Like, he could just turn anything to stone. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's not just living things, it's everything. Also, he speaks dragon, so he can talk to Kitten.
He can speak any language.
Yeah, so with Kitten, Dane can't understand her because she's too young to mind speak, and Dane doesn't know dragon, but Taka is able to talk to her because he speaks dragon, so they can just talk to each other in dragon. Which how fucking awesome is that?
So great, because apparently Kitten / Sky Song has had a lot to say and no one to say it to.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is Taka meets Kitten for the first time and goes, "Well, hello there. Where's your mommy?"
Pretty much.
Kitten's like, "That's my mom." Right there.
And Taka's like, "So you fucking stole a dragon?"
He's like,
and she's like, "No,
bitch.
no, no, that's not it. Don't turn me to stone." But then Taka is like,
"Oh, I mean, you're just a child yourself, I see."
Yeah. Also, Kitten is just basically a cousin of mine, so I won't bore you with the details on how dragons and basilisks are kind of, I cannot say basilisks. Basilisks. Are, like, vaguely related.
It's because there should never be more than one basilisk in a room.
I mean, I agree, but he's really cool, and I love him.
I adore him. And I had forgotten he was in this, so that was an awesome remembering. Anyway, after narrowly avoiding Stormwings, Dane's company runs into the 10-year-old Lady Mora of Dunlath. She has obviously run away from home, but her horse left her after seeing the wolves. Mora says she can't sleep in the same place as her sister and brother-in-law, but won't say why. They find then that there is a force field surrounding the entire valley. They test it, and only Taka can go through it. Dane warns the people, with the capital P, so all the animals of the valley.
I'm sorry.
No. It's hard to decipher, like verbally, audibly.
Yeah.
She warns the capital P people in the valley to not run into the force field, and then her company, with Mora in tow, moves on to the caves because she figured out it was there because a fucking starling just smashed into it. And she was like, "Oh my god, you dum-dum!
And then she scared the shit out of a sparrow."
But yeah.
While cooking supper, they just, every time I looked, it said supper, so I wrote supper.
They just did supper, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
And
it's
then
supper.
She'll feed Kitten something the next morning, which was part of their supper the night before.
Oh, or Mora at one point does make, corn cakes? Oat cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. While cooking supper, a bat colony comes to greet Dane, getting a scream out of Mora when they arrive. Dane then asks to join with one of the bats, and one of them obliges. With her bat, she goes out to check how big the force field is, and figures out it's over the entire valley. She also meets a Hurrick, a horse with bat wings and claws instead of hooves, and forward-facing eyes. That is so terrifying.
Okay.
A predator horse.
That's honestly horrifying. But also, I would like to note, they are described as having bat wings, but Hurrock is supposed to be the combination of horse and hawk.
Oh, you're right. She did specifically
but
even say that.
But they very specifically always have bat wings. So I am very confused by who decided to name them that. Tammy?
The Hurrick talks to the bat, because the bat's a nosy little bitch, and is like, "What is this? I have to investigate." And the Hurrick is like, "Go away, flapper." Or squeaker. He called him a squeaker.
Yeah, but they call Stormwings flappers.
Yeah, that's where my brain was. Everyone is calling everyone some kind of, like, squeaker, nibbler.
Yeah, it's like when you're reading a vampire novel and everybody's got, like, "Oh yeah, the bloodsuckers. Oh yeah, we call them the blood donators." And, everybody's got their stupid names for things, and you're like, okay. Everybody just call things what they are, please.
And the Hurrick tells the bat that it is a slave to the mages there. It has, like, a slave collar. It's real fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, real fucked up. When she returns to her body, she finds that she feels like she has bat ears instead of human ears, but she decides that she's probably crazy for some fucking reason.
Because when you know that you have magic, you should just assume you're crazy.
Apparently.
Like, good God. The next morning, Mora was telling Dane that she can't talk about why she ran away when an ear-splitting sound like a bell being struck from the inside occurs. They run to its origin to find that Numair is on the outside of the force field, trying to break through. Takal goes through to tell him what is going on, also to stop making that goddamn noise.
After Takal leaves, Stormwings arrive. However, this time, they are not there as foes. They are there as Mora's friends. The main one, Lord Rikash.
I pronounced it Rikash.
Rikash. I accidentally spelled it for the first 2 times as Rakish.
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 The Rakish Stormwing.
I know.
Tammy is like, yes, I am writing a romance novel about Stormwings now.
Oh, God. Lord Rakash seems to genuinely care for Mora and won't force her to go back to the castle, even though he totally could. After he leaves, Mora tells Dane that she left because she overheard Yolaine, Belden, and Tristan plotting treason. Dane writes it all down and has Taka take it to Numair. Insert funny story about Numair breaking out of stone, page 150, 151.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time he comes through, like, Numair is like, fucking monster, get it. And so Taka's like, okay, pause, let me just turn you to stone. And after only a few seconds, he's able to break out of it. And rather than continuing to be upset, he goes, okay, can you do that again? I want to see if I can do that again. It's like, okay, rather than trying to just replicate,
yeah,
let's continue with what I was doing.
Yeah, very, very funny, though, because then he's like, he tells Dane, this also works with dragons. If you tell them that, you know, we can do our experiments and take longer with them, they'll stop.
Academics and dragons. They're knowledge hoarding beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She joins with a marmot on the other side of the force field so that she can know what he says. Numair tells her, through Quick Munch the Marmot, to go try to see how many soldiers are at each fort, and that the lioness and other help is on the way.
Yay! Help! When Dane comes back to her body, she finds that she has a marmot's mouth and nose. Mora sees this and freaks out, which makes Dane happy because she thought she was crazy, but this means it's real. When Taka returns, he agrees to watch over Mora while Dane goes to check the forts. He also reveals that he's been eating black opals for dessert. He eats rocks like it's fine, whatever. Which means... This is Reese's notes, okay?
He eats rocks, it's fine, whatever.
Which means that's what they're mining in Dunlap. Dane realizes...
Which we know that black opals were told to us by Numair earlier in the book very, specifically, that black opals are the most powerful opals.
Yep.
Because apparently they come in strengths.
You know, a fire opal is good for some things, but a moon opal, now that is good for other things. Like how I don't come up with any specifics. Dane realizes that Yolaine is mining opals to sell to Karthak, who in turn sends her mages and soldiers.
After Mora falls asleep, the wolves and the squirrel Dane saved, named Flicker, return from stealing the food from the mining camp. And made sure to piss on all of the remaining food so that it couldn't be eaten.
Good for them.
Getting over her upset at the more unwolf-like behavior, Dane asks Flicker if he wants to help her. He agrees, and the next morning they start their journey towards the southern fort. Dane joins with Flicker, and they sneak into the fort in the squirrel's body to look around. They find rosters that show that there are 37 individual men. I don't know. Dudes. There are 37
members in the troop.
Soldiers at the fort. They also find a message from Ozorn that wants Numair and Kitten alive, but to kill Dane.
Because he's got to have his collectibles.
Yeah. He wants to punish Numair himself.
Well, that too, yeah.
That's what he wants.
You ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
They are found by Lord Rikosh, but they escape. However, Dane finds that when she gets back to her body, she is part squirrel. She rides back towards the pack with squirrel bits still attached, but stops for the night. There, the badger finds her and teaches her how to find her human body. It's just like, you think about it, and then it's there. Lol. You can't even blame that on Drunk Risa. That was written today, I'm pretty sure.
That was written today, yeah. This is where I started back today.
And also reveals that the gods of the people brought Dane to the valley to right what's wrong and bridge humans, animals, and immortals together. So basically, the Avatar, I guess? I mean,
yeah, there's lots of, like, you gotta bridge between the two worlds situation there, and I'm like... Spirit world, physical world. I, at one point, did write physical world instead of...
I did see that.
Mortal world. Mortal realm. Because last night when I was drunk, I was starting watching Legend of Korra.
See? That'll do it.
So, I'm the bridge. Okay, sorry. No, you were still...
No, I was done.
No, you finished, yeah. When they got back to the pack the next day... Mora wants to join Dane going to the northern fort, and after getting ganged up on, she lets Mora, Kitten, and Taka accompany
them meaning
whatever.
Her and the squirrel.
And Flicker.
Got it.
Yeah. She and Flicker. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Oh.
I like my voice breaking. Yeah, okay. At the North Fort, they count 49
troops.
members. Troops. I don't know why that just stayed with me. But 49 men, dudes, stationed there. When Dane returns to her body, this time she is fully a squirrel. She does as the badger told her, and she returns to her human body. She's not, like, fully a squirrel, but she's, like, the size of a squirrel and most parts squirrel.
Yeah.
But she returns to her human body.
When Dane fully returns to her body, she finds that they have a new member of the party, whose name I pronounce Yakoju.
I pronounce it Iyakuju.
Yakoju?
Iyakuju.
See, Yakoju is, I don't know. I see an I and an A and I go, yeah.
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 But I see it and I immediately just...
Yakoju.
Anything that isn't English, I pronounce like I would pronounce it in Spanish. So you guys are lucky that I don't pronounce it Iyakuhu.
Iyakoju, the escaped ogre, she tells them that Tristan lured the ogres to the mortal realm by promising them farms, but instead enslaved them to mine opals, which is horrible.
Fucked up.
I hate it.
Really
I hate it so
fucked up
much.
on so many levels.
Mora offers to give Iyakoju and her people farms in Dunlath if she helps them, and she agrees. Because, okay, I have to say the best part about Mora's character is she is a noble. So she's like, no, our duty is to the people. And once my sister decided to be treasonous, she gave up her claim to any title. I'm lucky if I don't go down with her.
Pretty much.
It's like,
she's like, they used to hang children for stealing.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Jeez. The company, start calling them the company compatriots.
It's just easier.
It's a lot. That leaves at dawn to go to the Western Pass. I don't remember why they're going to the Western Pass, but they are. But on the way, they are needed to help Tate, the hunter, get free from one of his own traps. One of his wolfhounds finds Dane. Prettyfoot.
His name is Prettyfoot.
And this is a good name. The man gave me this name, and it is a good name. You're right.
Yes.
You are completely right,
It is a good name.
It is a very good name. Finds Dane, and so while Taka takes the report to Numair through the force field, the rest of them go and save Tate. After being rescued, Tate confesses that he had left the castle after seeing a scene where Gissa,
yes.
I always read it as Gisa
because it's just your name with a G.
It's just Risa with a G. So, but Gissa is probably.
I found myself doing the same thing, and I had to go. Nope, it's probably Gissa.
It's Gissa. One of Tristan's mages chopped her own hand off after getting a drop of a potion on it. Jesus fucking Christ, chapter 8 has so much shit.
For real, though? Like,
this chapter 8 feels like it goes on forever.
Fucking, all right, here's everything I haven't told you yet. Boom!
Pretty much.
It's like, oh god. While Tate cleans up, and Taka is still taking the message to Numair, Dane joins with an eagle. Goodness, okay. With an eagle, and, like, she sees important shit, plume of smoke, and yet again, Rikosh realizes it's Dane joined with an animal because he's smart like that.
Actually, this isn't the one where he notices it. This is the first one. I wrote the wrong thing. He notices the next time she joins with the eagle, but I don't know if I actually talk about the next time she joins with the eagle, so... Oh, well.
Whatever. Dane returns to her body, and they hide from Hurox, looking for Iakoju. Iakoju. There we go. Then Storwing's looking for who the fuck knows what, because Storwing's
They're like, is it the dragon? I was like, why would they be looking for the dragon? This makes no sense to me, Tate. Why did you suggest this? But then Dane's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. And it's like...
You gotta be right, man.
And then at this point, Tate tells Dane about the hunt god, Weirin.
Yeah, and she's just like, he keeps mentioning the name, and she's like, well, you keep saying that name. Who is this? What god is this?
I've never heard of, and it's like, oh wow, it's a guy, it's a dude with antlers, and he shows up at Beltane. And you know, and she's like, that sounds familiar, and it's like, a few chapters ago, you had a dream of your mom being with that guy. Like, put 2 and 2 together, Dane. Anyway. But she can't.
She will not.
She physically cannot.
Taka returns and tells Dane that Alana and Raoul are with Numair, but no, they can't break the force field because it's absorbing power, not reflecting it. Dane sent the company on to the Western Pass, but she and Cloud go to the village so that she can sneak into the castle, but not physically. Lol.
Yeah, so she sends her brain. She meets 2 amazing cats that I love with all of my heart. I love them more than anything else in this book.
Yes.
Blueness, which is an older tomcat, and his little kitten friend Scrap, who he is holding down to clean, and it just reminds me of, we used to have these 2 cats, Loverboy and Scout. Fantastic cats. Yeah. When Scout was a kitten, she couldn't clean herself. She left her fur up at ridiculous angles. So Loverboy, who was he was like 25-pound cat. This cat was large. Yes. He just put a paw on her and would just lick her until
she tried to fight it, and then it was just like, okay.
And then he did that for the rest of his life. He would clean her. Fantastic. Yes. Then she joins with Scrap the kitten to go explore. They then find the sitting room Tristan uses to meet with people. Inside, Gissa is being fit for a prosthetic hand, which is cool. I think having prosthetics in your world building is so good.
Yes.
Just giving us right off the bat some, inclusion of disabilities and how they are cared for in this world. Yeah. And I think there's actually quite a bit, I would think, of, disability rep in these books, especially in the Circle books. Mm-hmm. Yes. Because, we also have, PTSD and stuff in the Circle books. Yeah. A little bit in this, but not so much.
Yeah, definitely a little bit in this, but I feel like she definitely saves that for her broken children of the Circle of Magic books.
Yeah. My babies.
The babies.
My babies. They find out that Tristan knows that the Lioness Numair and Raoul are there, and he says that he's been brewing blood rain, which sounds like the most evil thing in existence, right? Which is what got onto Gissa's skin, that made her cut her fucking hand off. They're going to dump it in the river to kill all of the troops, and everyone and everything else. Jesus fucking Christ, these people are short-sighted as fuck.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine, sister. It'll clear out in 7 years. They comfort Yolaine by saying, they're like, it's fine. It's fine. Which also, in that scene, Dane notices that Tristan is a little too familiar with Yolaine.
He is fucking Yolaine.
He is fucking Yolaine.
And Belden knows it and doesn't care.
Doesn't care, but goddamn, that guy can drink.
Yeah,
Belden is slamming them back that entire scene. He drinks
and
five.
He drinks 5 drinks, and then Dane notes that it doesn't affect his speech at all or his behavior. It's like, damn, dude.
Dude is a Viking. Dane steals a horse from the village. Okay, I guess it isn't stealing if he willingly comes with her. In fact, he not only volunteers saying he's the fastest, but every other horse in the village goes, yeah, no, he's the fastest. You gotta take him. It's like, yeah, that's right, bitch. Although Cloud doesn't appreciate. Cloud's like,
the jacknape.
Calm down there, stallion. But, just get her where she needs to go.
It makes me think, it makes me think of that bit in Over the Garden Wall where they're like, we stole Fred. No, Fred's a talking horse. He can do what he wants.
Yes.
I want to steal things. Okay. That's what Fred the horse wants to do. Yeah.
But she steals the horse to go to the barrier ASAP and calls to all her compatriots with her magic to meet her there so she can get the stupid information about the stupid blood rain to stupid Numair. Sorry, I'm getting heated.
There's just so much fucking stuff.
But I love that you start the chapter 9 with exactly what I was going to put.
Shit gets real. It's like a declaration of war is the name of the chapter, I think.
Yes.
It's fantastic. It's what war is declared.
That's it.
Beautiful name. Shit gets real. Dane fills everyone in, and Tate asks to go and warn all the servants in the castle to get out, and she says, yeah, sure. Dane finally sleeps for once, but at dawn, she gets up, and then as the Marmot Quick Munch, she attends what is basically a war meeting on the other side of the barrier with all the usual suspects. Basically, Alana and Numair tell Dane that they can't break the barrier, and no one can come help for, like, at least 4 days, but she can do it if they find the physical model being used for the spell and breaking the opals in it. No big deal.
You know, just get in there, kill the MacGuffin, and we'll be done. Yeah. They all decide that the best plan is to draw the forces to opposite ends of the valley by attacking both forts at the same time. The ogres rebelling in the north and Mora blowing up the south. Sorry, they decide to strike the next morning at 9 a.m. when Numair hits the barrier again to signal them to start. Dane brings Kitten with her to pick locks for her.
I just typed a bunch of A's, then the next bullet point. No, okay, so Dane convinces all the animals to help because of course she does, so they all go fuck up buildings and supplies. The next morning, Dane makes sure that only the mages and nobles are in the castle by way of mice. She finds out through the mice, and when the gong hits, they all get to work. There's a gigantic explosion in the south, and Dane is impressed.
She's like, how did Mora... We don't know how Mora did it.
No, we do. In the epilogue,
I read the epilogue. It didn't say.
Flower. The epilogue says flower.
What?
Yeah. She's like walking off with Numair. Flower heated under pressure explodes, replied Numair. Yeah, they stopped to eat lunch near the spot where the southern fort had once stood.
There we go.
It was a ruin. No buildings were left inside the blackened remains of the wall. Dane eyed the destruction. Odd. Kegs of flour did this?
That's it.
Yeah, it's true.
Once inside, Dane gets Scrap and Balloonist to help her again, and they find all the mages' workrooms, but no sign of the model. Still no luck in Tristan's rooms either, but Yolaine sees them and throws a fit before running off. I like to insert here that she showed up in a very thin robe. Bitch was fucking Tristan. Hardcore. Anyway,
But he's off at one of the ends of the valley right now.
I love the moment when she's calling for everybody and Dane's like, bitch, they ain't here. Yolaine sees them, throws a fit before running off. They finally think to look in the tower, which was honestly the most obvious place, but like, whatever. However, Scrap and Balloonist tell her that a cold lizard lives there, so none of the animals will go there. Dane understands that this is a cold fang, set to protect it until the end of time. Dane goes up anyway, telling the cats to get out, and finds Cold Fang, then promptly falls down the stairs, followed by the Cold Fang.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I'm gonna try and shoot, and then she slips, and then she just tumbles down. Pursued by the Cold Fang, Dane searches for something to fight with in the tower. Her strength fails her when she tries to use a war axe, so her friends, Kitten, Blueness, and Scrap, come to her aid. They blind and confuse the Cold Fang long enough for Dane to sufficiently chop the fucker up with her axe.
That's mine.
Yep. In the fight, Scrap has been thrown against a wall and, like Faithful before her, has died. But no, not so fast. Dane will not let this happen. She calls upon the strength of the gods of the animals and hears from Old White. Hears Old White in a female voice, Queen Claw, which allows Scrap another chance. Queen Claw is the first cat.
And Old White is the wolf god.
Yeah, the first wolf, and his mate is
Black Knight.
Black Knight, thank you. I was like, Wolf Knight?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, and they allow Scrap another chance, and I'm, like, crying at this point reading the book, and my husband's like, are you okay?
Yes,
and I was
it's fine.
like, it's
The
fine.
cat's alive.
No, this is good. She lives. It's fine. Still needing to get the job done, Dane locates the model and, calling on the strength of Old White, smashes the opals. There is an explosion, knocking Dane out, but also taking down the barrier.
Oh, snap. She got it done. She awakes to New Mare, putting a smelly flower in her nose. Okay, he puts it under her nose, but I liked saying he put it in her nose better. The barrier has fallen and her troops have been efficient. He is so happy to see her, he hugs her tight, like Blueness's relief when Scrap's lifeless body was inhabited again. Because I saw...
He purrs so loud that it, like, reverberates in the hall. And I'm like, oh my gosh, baby, I love you.
Sweet, sweet baby. The reunion doesn't last long before a Hurok mounted by Tristan, I keep trying to call him Tristan, appears. Dane makes quick work of the Hurok, and New Mare sets off to end things with his fellow mage.
Stormwings appear, led by Lord Rakash, so Dane gets their attention. She proves herself a danger to them and tells Lord Rakash that they don't need to fight and he can just go. He notes that the Emperor, Ozorn, that he can expect no...
He's going to have to tell him that he can expect...
that he can expect no more opals from Dunlath. Two Stormwings lose their tempers when Rakash starts to leave, and they make one last move for Dane, dying in the process.
It's worth noting these are ones that have been with Rakash every time, and they keep trying to be antagonistic towards Dane when he's like, guys, this is not what we're fucking here for. I love Rakash. He's all business.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And also, he says to tell Mora goodbye and to be good.
Yeah,
because
he actually they do say that in their first encounter with Rakash and Mora. Rakash tells Dane that Stormwings can't, like, it's very hard for them to have children, like, super hard. So they
value other people's children.
Especially those that are being abandoned, which is what Mora is. Yeah. You know, she's being neglected. So they're there to try and help
her. She's not being allowed to play with her friends in the village, and they think she's a snob now.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly for Mora.
Well, yeah. That's you. New Mare turns
I was like, wait, is that... New Mare turns Tristan into a tree, and they remember they need to get Yolaine and Belden to bring them to justice. Dane finds Belden's body, having committed suicide, and written a confession of his crimes. But no Yolaine. When she comes to report to New Mare, the pack and Ayakoju are there to greet her. Dane finds out from Cloud that Yolaine took off forever ago, and they're like, well, I guess she's gone. I mean, that's been 2.5 hours since the barrier went down, and Dane goes, nah, that ain't good enough. And she gets some things for the pack to sniff so that they can go after her. Would you like to continue, sister?
Yeah, and then Dane is like, okay, I'll mind join with you guys on, like, when you go do it, because I want to just fucking do this. So she, like, gets in the lake, and it amplifies her power, because it's really cold water. And so instead of just joining them in her mind as a wolf, no, she just fully shapeshifts into a wolf, and goes off and hunts with the pack.
I love it.
And they fucking hunt Yolaine down, and, like...
I love that they rein in Dane. Like, nope, you're one of the wolves now. Sorry, you gotta, bitch.
Yeah, I love it.
Fall back.
Brokefang goes, I'm sorry, are you going to lead the hunt? And she's like, no, why would I?
What, are you
have
crazy?
More experience. And he's like, Okay, let's go.
Excellent. But yeah, they hunt down Yolaine and make her do the walk of shame back. Although Dane turns back into human form in order to, threaten Yolaine and shit. Oh, I forgot. She manages to. They manage to catch her because they corner her, and Dane talks to her horse and is like, "Hey, you want to ditch this bitch? We got her from here. You can go home. Everything's safe. Go back to the fight.
Yeah, the wolves won't get you.
I promise you, you're safe." It's like, I don't know. And then Yolaine goes, slap. Go. Oh, no, she hits him in between the ears.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope, I'm done.
And he just throws her. Love it.
But Dane comes back without her clothes. And so she takes the time to go get clothes from where she stashed them in a cavern nearby.
Yeah, and they're like dirty clothes.
Dude, just be naked.
It's fine.
Just be a wild child.
Naked. It's fine. And so then they arrest Yolaine.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much the end of the book.
Pretty much it.
And then there's an epilogue, which is the same as all of the epilogues in these books of just saying your goodbyes to everyone. Because they're like, we gotta keep moving on. And everyone's like, but really, you have to leave?
I feel like there's definitely a hint of I'll miss you most of all to Ka.
Yeah.
Because that's the one where she Mora comes to her and she's been crying and she's upset and Dane's like, hey, it's okay, kiddo. And then she's having to part with Ka and she's like,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, same though.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so what do we think of the book?
I think it's a good book.
Yeah, I really, really liked. So she made a very big theme about examining, like, innate good, basically. And there's a really awesome conversation between Dane and Cloud about, like, does someone's, like, does it make someone evil if it's just that their nature opposes your nature? Like, as a horse, like, to her...
Her nature is opposed to the wolves, but...
Yeah.
They're
but
friends.
it doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that they're all bad. It doesn't mean that they're evil. It just means that they are, opposites. They're not, like, the same. And then it's kind of examined about, like, are the Stormwings innately evil? Or is it that they are it's just that their natures oppose Dane's? Mm-hmm. Because that's what they were brought into being to be.
Yeah, because, like, she tries to go on tirade, like, a lot to Mora, being like, how can you be friends with Stormwings? They eat dead bodies. And she's like, they can't help how they were made. Like,
yeah,
it's their nature,
and she's
man.
Like, I can't believe that you're friends with wolves who eat people. It's like, yeah, it's interesting. I'm just saying.
Yeah. In fact, I just go into reading, like, the afterwards because they're having some good insights. But, like, one of them was basically Tamora Pierce was like, I didn't want Dane to be racist. So basically, this entire book is about making Dane not racist. It's like, okay, take those preconceived notions and realize that everyone and everything's an individual. It's not the sum of, it's not just part of some group.
Yeah.
You can't just decide things are bad or good, and you gotta see how the actions are taken.
Yeah. And it's definitely all very heavy-handed.
Very heavy-handed, but I don't, that's not really... And honestly, in the part where we're like, what don't we like? Because I figure that's going to be the shortest part for me. I was like, honestly, there isn't much I dislike in this book. Because, yes, it is very heavy-handed in its message. But it works for its audience. It's a good, like, let's just hammer this home. And we'll do it in a way that, like, you can emotionally get invested in. And
I feel like as a child, when I read this, it wasn't heavy-handed. To me. Like, it was enough to make me go, hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
maybe
I shouldn't just hate people because of who they are.
That's crazy.
But otherwise, I think, honestly, the she really just finds the way she wants to tell stories.
Yeah.
And it means that it's so engaging. And it really... It's one of those things where, like, I pick it up and I can't put it down. Because there's no place to take a break where I'm not excited to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. No, it's really... I think that the best part of it for me is that very quickly into Dane, she realized that she wanted to tell this story essentially through the lens of animals. And so it's like, okay, how do animals think? What, like, there's a lot of, like, rituals that the wolves do that are, you know, real wolf things. And it's just like, okay, drawing parallels between what the wolves do to what the humans do. And it's like, it's a lot of seeing similarities in nature and also viewing human actions through nature's lens and being like, why are you doing that?
Like, this is going to affect you too, you know? Like, you know that, right?
You realize you're scaring off the game, right? Like, that's your food too.
So, just suddenly hit me. It's like Fern Gully.
It is. It is like Fern Gully.
It's that same kind of a heavy-handed thing, but it doesn't really matter because you're having a fun time.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a good time. I love Fern Gully.
Yeah.
It's... What a bizarre movie.
What an absolutely bizarre movie.
Tim Curry's there. Okay, who would you cast Tim Curry as in this book? I'm thinking, like, a young Tim Curry as Belden would be very good.
That was exactly what I was thinking, honestly.
Yeah. Sorry. It was very important that I knew this.
Important. No, yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, but, okay, you want to go into what we liked?
Yes.
Okay.
Takah.
Like I said, I forgot about him, and it's so weird because he's actually a very formative character for me. Because, like, I can't believe I forgot about his entire existence.
He has, like, the energy of, like, a mischievous senior.
Yeah.
Like, sneaking out of the nursing home. Like, that's, like, the energy he gives.
Yeah, I snuck out of the Divine Realms. I was fucking bored.
And he's like, to become a messenger at my age.
So fun.
He's specifically, like, an elderly gay man.
Yes.
Who's very mischievous. That's the energy he gives off.
Yes, he's an elderly gay man who...
to be a messenger at my age.
Was a teacher, and so he can't shake those teacher habits, but, like...
Yes. Professor, specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very different than, like, grade school teachers.
Yeah.
Who are also a very specific energy.
Also, yes. Then there's high school teachers where it's a very different energy, but that's completely warranted.
But yes, that's everything he gives, and we love it.
Yes, and I love him eating rocks all delicately.
Yep. And then he's, like, honestly touched. The wolves are like, would you like to join us for the hunt? And he's like, oh, thank you, but no.
That's so sweet. I don't eat that, but I appreciate it.
I appreciate the offer to participate. You know? Also, yeah, and I already talked about Russet playing with Kitten. I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, and again, just Kitten being in this was so good. I feel like...
Well, dragons in general are good.
It's the second book of every series where she's like, you know what? This book needs a little mischievous animal.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, my absolute favorite part of the entire book is Kitten getting sassy with the locks. Like... Because as they are breaking into the tower, the locks get progressively harder.
Yeah.
And so she she knocks the first one off almost with ease, and she's like, ha, fucking showed that with who's boss. And they like she keeps having to change her frequencies and change how she does things, and she's just like, bitch, this lock thought it could outstand me. Just like walking away with a little attitude, and I'm just like, oh, I live for this.
Yeah. Then Blueness and Scrap just existing. I love them so much. Yes. They are just, to me, Loverboy and Scout.
Yes.
Like straight down to, well, Blueness is not a tuxedo cat, but I always imagine he is. He's just he's a black cat with, like, a white patch, right?
I think so. All I really remember about it is that he fell into the blue dye when he was a kitten, and that's why they call him Blueness.
Yeah, he's so... I love him. I love them both.
Yeah.
And their relationship of just, like, that, like, fatherly, uncle-type relationship.
Yeah.
Of just, like, affection.
It, honestly, it feels like it mirrors Numair and Dane. Like, right down to, like, them being... The older male being so, like, relieved to see that his charge is okay. And just, like, I was so scared for you. And it's good. It's real good. And also the young one being sassy and getting into stuff they're not supposed to. And he's like, good God.
Yeah.
Because Numair throughout the book is threatening to... He's like, Dane, if you do anything, if you get hurt, I will lock you in a dungeon. Jesus. Numair, this isn't parenting. You're not doing a good job.
He's trying.
But also, all the animal gods, the fucking wild gods just being...
Just existing, that was also very formative.
Yeah.
The idea of, like,
they're just walking
all
around.
Animals having their own gods, and what would that be? That would be the first of their species. Like, that's so cool to me.
Yes. It really, really is. Like, the first alligator, or is it a crocodile? It's crocodile, because they're the Nile, basically.
Yeah.
In Tempest and
Slaughter.
Thank you. I only catch the T in that one. But yeah, I love me some animal gods.
Yeah.
And my last point there was people just fucking telling Dane about her dad, and she has no idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, like, spoilers, but she's had a magic placed on her so that she doesn't ask questions. Like, yes, that is true.
Yes.
But without the magic, I still think that she probably wouldn't figure it out.
She still doesn't, like, think about it when she's not there.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes around about the time you were conceived, Dane?
Yeah.
In the mountains?
Yeah. Oh, also, Tate fucking knows who Dane is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Dane, like, talks about how she met the wolves.
Oh,
and, you know,
that wolf
he's like,
girl.
he's like, where are you from? She's like, oh, Snowsdale, I don't know if you know it. And he goes, oh, you're that one.
She's like, it's mostly not true, I think.
I wasn't crazy, I'm just magic.
I didn't know I was magic.
Yes, I did kill all of those bandits with my bare hands. However, consider this. They killed...
In all fairness.
They killed my mother, prepare to die.
They killed my mom, my grandpa, and all of our fucking animals.
Every animal. So, you know.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's the book.
Yeah.
What's your favorite headcanon about this book?
So I guess that I had two. One was really dumb, but I feel like Flicker was enamored of Dane, like, cause he did get really excited when he saw her, looking part squirrel. He's like, hey, you looked okay for a second there. It's like, oh, he gives her a wet squirrel kiss, and I'm just like, oh. But my other one was that Tristan hates Numair because Ozorn liked him better, by which I mean he only fucks Tristan because Numair isn't there.
I mean, you say this is a headcanon, but it's based...
I mean, in all fairness, it's not specifically said, especially now that Tristan's a tree. I mean... They're not really going to touch on that.
No. But...
An apple tree.
Knowing him, sour apples.
Oh,
but...
Dane.
The, That's pretty much to me, yeah. That's just their relationship. Also, it's just like so much jealousy going on there.
So much.
But also ex-boyfriend energy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Really, though.
Like, it's just what it feels like. Just continuing to say everyone in this world is bi. Especially Tristan and, you know, but not Yolaine. Yolaine's straight.
Yeah.
Belden is not.
Belden, no. And that's why he doesn't give a shit what his wife does.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, she can get some. I don't have to have sex with her. I can...
But, I actually like the fact that Belden straight up, like, he writes, you know, I'm killing myself. Like, that's obviously coward's way out. But, just the fact that he's like, I mean, I don't blame her. Yeah. I allowed myself.
He's like, I wasn't seduced to the dark side. I made my choices. I am a treasonous piece of shit. I deserve everything that's coming to me. I'm gonna dip.
Yeah. Pretty much. But, yeah. So what is the next book we're going to be reading?
The next book is Emperor Mage.
Which, I'm not going to lie, is my favorite book in the quartet.
It's really good.
So I'm incredibly excited to read it.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see what other people think about it as well. So please talk about these books with us.
Yeah.
Because if you join our Discord, which the link to that is in the description wherever you are listening to this. But if you join our Discord, we have an entire channel where we, you know, say the book of the month is this, and then people talk about it within spoilers and stuff, and we have discussions about it, and it's really cool. And I want you guys to do that more, because it makes me happy.
Okay.
But yeah, so see you guys next time. As a reminder, I'm Risa.
I'm Ariana. Keep on reading.